everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Rachel and I hope that you enjoy our video today, and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel as I have a lot of fun things on my craft table in the upcoming weeks. So the first craft that we're going to be working on is this little tiered tray here. I found this at Michael's. I think this is actually relatively new to their collection. It's in their wood area, just because when I went to purchase this, the cashier actually had no idea that they were selling this. I'm using this as a candle holder. I bought this candle, Heartland Harvest. It is a wood wick from Hobby Lobby, and as you can already see, I've already been burning it because it smells so good. So I thought it'd be kind of cute to put a little wreath decal on my little tray here, and I thought it would just give a little bit of a cute accent to this candle here. So I'm going to go ahead and weed this out. Now I found this SVG on Design Bundles. I thought it was really pretty. It has a layer effect. So we're just going to go ahead and weed all of the parts out. So in this video, we are going to be doing different, we're not doing any other than, I guess this one, it was a little bit, oh, we have one fall decor item that we'll be working on. It's an iron-on. It's actually reverse canvas that we're doing. I haven't done that in my channel yet, so we're going to be working with that today. But pretty much all of my decor, oops, this one's coming off here, all of my stuff that's on my craft table, I'm just going to go ahead and cut this out so that way it doesn't fall back onto my part that I already took the time to weed out. But yeah, all of my stuff that's on my table, my craft table for today's video, are just some random things for my house and also for my daughter's room. So I'm excited to show you all of that. There we go. That part did not want to stay on the carrier sheet. This wreath is so pretty, but it's a little bit challenging to weed out. And then there's a lot of middles that we have to weed out as well. It's not pretty. All right, let's go ahead and weed out the middles here. So what is everyone making for Christmas? Have you been thinking about Christmas? Crafting at all? We're here in the last week of October, and oops, that's not part that needs to get weeded out. And I have been making a list of crafts that I need to make for Christmas, and before you know it, Christmas will be here, and I need to definitely get a head start on that. So I think here in the next week or so, I will be pushing out some fall decor. I actually already made a lot of my fall decor prior to starting my channel, so I don't know if you'll see a whole lot of fall stuff being crafted in my channel this year, just because, again, I had started this this channel prior to, or after, I should say, I already did some fall decor, but I think I might try to sneak some in here and there just to help you guys gain some inspiration of that. So I will be making a lot of my Christmas gifts this year, and just because I love making Christmas gifts. It's actually my favorite thing to craft, and it's just so much fun. Especially you can just craft, listen to some Christmas music, or you can watch some Christmas movies. Speaking of Christmas movies, what is your must-see Christmas movie? Mine is, I actually have a few of them. Christmas with the Cranks is by far the #1 that I have to watch every Christmas. I just absolutely love that movie. It's just a staple in my house. And then also I have to watch Home Alone. I mean, are you American if you Are you even American if you don't watch that? No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so I have to watch that. And then let's see, what else do I need to watch? I feel like there's one other one that I cannot think of. My husband, he has to watch The Grinch, both the cartoon and the Jim Carrey version. And also he likes to watch the newer Grinch movies, but I'm kind of tapped out at that point. I'm not a big fan of the Grinch. I don't hate it. It's just definitely not my favorite to watch over and over like it is him. So, oh, you know what the other one is? I just remember, Four Christmases. It has Reese Witherspoon and Vince Vaughn as the main characters. And I absolutely love that movie. I think it's hilarious. Well, I'm a big fan of Vince Vaughn anyways. I love his movies. So I thought that that was a good movie that he made. And I can't remember how old that is. But those are the 3 movies that I have to watch during the Christmas season to get me into to help get me into the Christmas spirit. So let me know in the comments section which Christmas movie gets you into the Christmas spirit, because I'm interested. If you have any suggestions, I'd be open to listen to some, or to read some and hopefully watch. My daughter is only 2 years old, and I don't know how well she'll understand the concept of Santa Claus this year. I think she might, but I know last year she was a year and a half when we took her to see Santa Claus, and oh, she freaked out. The first year, like when she was only a baby, when she was 6 or 7 months old, she had no problem. But the older she got, or the older she's getting, the more scared she is. So, which is, I guess, pretty normal. All right, so I think I weeded everything out. Everything looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and apply some transfer tape. So I have this piece of transfer tape, and I think it should fit. It might come off a little bit, but I'll just have to end up being careful not to scrape on that part when I'm trying to apply the transfer tape. I'm going to use one of my magnets to help hold that down. I just bought this glass mat, and I don't know if I like it. Actually, I think I need to go. Oh, well, I'm committed to it. I don't know if I like it just yet. It makes me nervous to work on it. This glass, they say it's not. I'm gonna have to end up using this here. They say it's not, I guess, scratch proof. It's scratch resistant. So they said certain things will end up scratching it, and looks like I got it cut off here, but I think it should be okay as long as I'm careful with scraping it down. So I don't know. We'll see if I like it. I got one of the biggest mats that they offer. Just be super careful here. It's pretty expensive, but they say you can apply heat to it and you can cut on it. Although they say certain things they don't require. You know, they suggest not to cut like thicker material. They say probably put a cutting mat down. So, but I actually, if you guys watched my craft haul, my last craft haul, you'll see that I purchased a cutting mat, 12 by 12 cutting mat, just for that, just so I can protect the glass a little bit better. All right, let's try. Looks like this is going to be a little stinker, trying to get off the carrier sheet. So I'm going to put some music on for you all and have you guys watch me trying to get this off onto the transfer tape. was way more difficult than I thought that would ever be, but hey, we made it. All right, so we're just going to apply this decal to our tray here, and I'm going to center it as best as possible. Okay, I think that looks good. I'm going to scrape it down. Careful on this side because we don't want to accidentally rip that up. I've done that before where I was not paying attention. I think it was in one of my other videos. I wasn't paying attention, and I think I almost ripped off the T for one of my projects. I think that should be pretty well. Going very slowly just to make sure that the vinyl doesn't come up, and encourage it in the places that needs to be encouraged. I think because this is not a smooth surface, it's not staying down very well. Probably should have sanded it, prepared the wood a little bit better, but I was just eager to get going. So, all right, there we have it. And then of course I'm going to put my candle there. And what you guys think? I think it looks really pretty. It adds a little bit of a pizzazz to it, if you will. And I think this turned out really well. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next craft. I found this cute little cutting board at Michael's, and I thought it'd be kind of cute to display this in my kitchen. So I cut out another wreath style with my letter of my last name. So I am going to go ahead and weed that out. I think I might try to weed this way and see how that works. Looks like everything's coming out pretty good. Sometimes you just gotta change directions. Sometimes it's just easier to weed one way versus the other. There we go. And then I'm going to weed out this part. So I have my transfer tape. I opted for this one because I like using this transfer tape for wood projects. Although the other transfer tape that I typically use is pretty good for transfer tape as well. Let me see. I'm not sure how I'm going to approach this without getting that involved. Let me see if I can move this side here. I think I might have grabbed too much transfer tape, but I think what I'll do is just I'll end up trimming it. And I'm trying to avoid bubbles, which I think I just got. Oh, okay. Decided to. All right. This might be a little bit of a mess, but I think we can still work with this. Probably should have done, okay. That's all right. This happens, although not as bad as it is happening right now. So I think what we'll do is we'll kind of work our way out. I never had this kind of problem with this transfer tape. I think I went a little overzealous with the amount of transfer tape. I think this is going to be an issue. And I'm just straightening it out as best as possible. Now, I might have lost the shape a little bit just because I had to get those air bubbles out, but just because of how close that is. Looks like it's going off the sheet here, and that's telling me that either it got moved over as I was trying to fix the air bubbles, or it stretched out a little bit, but I think we should be okay. So just because you accidentally put too much transfer tape and you had those darn air bubbles, don't let that stress you out, because you just gotta you just have to be patient with it. And in fact, I don't want to have more transfer tape than I need for this. So I think what I'll do is I will cut this down a little bit. That way, the less transfer tape I've learned, the better to center it and to work with, because if you have too much, it might throw your eye off a little bit. So I think it's just easier to work with less transfer tape. Okay. Clean up my workspace a little bit here. Move this to the side. Now this vinyl here is the same brand as the white vinyl that I use. It's the Laurel 651, and I truly do think, yes, the Laurel 651. I truly do think that I had a bad roll of vinyl. So I got my parchment paper, and what I'll do is move that to the side and put this on my parchment paper. And what you're going to want to do is have some of it exposed, excuse me. And then this allows you to move your decal around without actually having to commit to a certain location. And this just allows you to, and I'm just looking to see how centered this is. I'm thinking this needs to get moved over just a smidge. All right, so I think I'm going to commit to it, so I'll just push that area where it's exposed. And then what I'll do is I'll lift my transfer tapes, gently pull that away, and then bring this down carefully. Okay, I think that looks good. So I don't need this anymore, so I'm going to move that to the side. And I'll go ahead and burnish this down. Now carefully, you are working with a painted surface. I used my favorite chalk paint. I use chalk paint for almost everything just because I like that matte look with paint, and also with chalk paint you really only need one or two coats depending on how distressed you want yours to look. And I also didn't paint the sides. I like that, left that exposed just to give it more dimension. And then I'm going to pull this back. Looks like I need to scrape this down a little bit better. I was trying to be gentle, not scrape down too hard, but clearly it is not working. All right, so I think we're gonna have to take this bit by bit. And you're not gonna be able to reuse this transfer tape. I mean, you could potentially, but you're going to get some of the chalk that's going to come off of your chalk paint, come off on your transfer tape, and then you're going to lose its tack. So I have plenty of this. In fact, it's probably been over a year, and I know this stuff has a shelf life, so I'm not like I'm hurting for this to... This is really sticking down. Like I am really tugging at it to try to get it to come off the transfer tape. I like to do iron-on with wood. In fact, we have some iron-on projects with wood today. But for whatever reason, I just decided to use a vinyl for this. I think maybe because if I end up deciding to take the vinyl off and repaint it, that's why I decided to do that. So I do reuse my projects. And with iron-on, that is way more permanent than actual permanent vinyl. So I believe I bought these wreaths on design bundles, I believe. Yes, design bundles. And I just made one large one, rotated and flipped it, and made a smaller one. And then, of course, I used text. I used Times New Roman for the letter D. Again, I just think that font style is classic. So, and I thought it looked really well with the wreath. All right, and see, well, I kind of crinkled it up, but it's definitely not going to be reusable. So I think that turned out really good. And again, I'll just display it on my kitchen. You can kind of see that the paint or the transfer tape did pull up the paint a little bit, but I think that is just part of the distressed look. Like, I like this distressed era because even though that's not supposed to be like that, it does look like it's supposed to be there. So I think it turned out really well. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next project. I found this cute little display at Michael's, and it's a chalkboard easel. And I thought it'd be cute to apply some vinyl to this, and you're going to get a kick out of what it says. So I'm not going to tell you until it gets weeded out. But I think that if you are a true crafter, you, and who is married also, you would get a kick out of this. And I mean, I know I did. And so true. And this is just going to be displayed in my craft room here. So let me go ahead and weed this out. And I like to, it looks like when I was cutting this out with my, I believe I cut it out with my Joy, it was already moving the, or taking out the middles of the SVG here. So I think what I'll do is weed out the middles as best as I can. Sometimes it's easier to weed out the middles than it is to weed out the background and then weed out the middles, just because it has more surface area for it to hold on to while you're weeding out your design. You also can do what's called reverse weeding, and that is simply applying your transfer tape and then weeding it from the transfer tape. So that's something that you most certainly can do. I have done it once or twice, and I don't know if I absolutely love it. And I just realized I weeded the wrong part. Speaking of reverse reading. So I realized I was supposed to weed out the actual letters, not the reverse reading. But I think because I've already put other stuff on there, it's just, you know, that it's already, the other middle parts, it's just going to be way too much effort. So it's just going to look like that. And I think that that should be just fine. Again, sometimes we just got to go with it and not fight over it. And honestly, knowing me, I'll probably end up taking this vinyl off once I get bored with the design, you know, a year or so later, or just want to update it, and then it's going to get changed. And plus, it's only going to be in my craft room, so It's not like I'm gonna display it for everyone to see. Well, I guess the YouTube universe, I guess I am. This SVG, I don't have font information, of course. Oops, oh no. Oh, shoot. This font information I don't have just because it is an SVG, and but it's in Design Space. So if you are a Cricut Access member, then you will have access to it. If not, I'm sure you can pay, I think it's a good 99 cents for their designs. So in fact, what I'll do is I will get this off my fingers. Trim this part off because I don't need that. And then here's the tricky part. So I'm going to get rid of this part right here because I think that's just going to be in my way. All right. Honestly, I think I need a new blade on my machine. I keep on telling myself to change it, but then I never do. Then I have these problems. Again, I'm just careful when I'm weeding it out, making sure that nothing else is coming up. Looks like I missed a few things in the middle, but we can get that after. Can you guess what it's going to say? Missed quite a bit of middles, but all right. Oh, missed one as well. All right, it says, will trade husband for craft supplies. Oh my gosh. I saw that and I'm like, I most certainly will do that. I'm just kidding. But no, seriously. It's, I saw that and I'm like, oh, yep. Need that in my craft stat, or need that on display in my craft room. So I thought it was just too cute that I had to add that to my little easel here. Okay. Just scraping it down. And I don't need, again, we don't want to have more transfer tape than we need, just so that way it doesn't throw our eye off. So I'm going to cut that portion off. Little piece does not want to get off my finger. All right. Now we really want to make sure this gets scraped really good because we have such small pieces and might be a little challenge trying to get it to transfer. Oh no, it's transferring like a dream. Oh, finally, something easy to do. All right, now let's go ahead. Now, you most certainly can use the parchment paper, but I think that I can manage this pretty easily. So just going to get it on there, trying to be straight and centered. Perfect. Oh, looks like I did not get that all the way covered. See, that's why you want to be careful, because look, I just made it curve out a little bit, and I don't think I'm gonna be able to, that's all right. You know what? It's fine. Again, we don't do perfection, right? If we do perfection, buy it from a store. Looks like it got off-centered a little bit. There we go. We'll trade husband for craft supplies. I'm just going to stand up like that and be on display. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next craft project. I found this cute little display. It's supposed to just sit up like this, and or you can hang it up. And I got it at Hobby Lobby, originally $10.99, and only was on clearance for $3.24. And I found this cute little SVG that I'm going to weed out here in a second. But I want to, there's a little bit of a scuff, not scuff, but a little sticky part from the clearance tag being on there. So I want to clean it up. And plus it's been sitting in my craft room for a while, so it needs to get cleaned up anyways. But one of my best friends, she just got engaged, and they actually have a little baby on the way. So in the next video, I will be making that video will be all about the gifts that I'm going to be making for her and her new baby and her kids. She has 2 kids. So anyways, they just got engaged a little while ago, and I found this cute SVG, and I thought it'd be kind of a cute engagement gift for them. So her favorite, well, from what I've been told, she's going to have a blue and silver theme, and if I remember correctly, and I thought that this silver vinyl would be really pretty and in line with their color scheme for their wedding. So just thought it'd be a cute little engagement gift. Oh, no. All right, so I'm gonna be careful. I don't want to have to do that again. Let me just add that E in there before I lose it. Okay. And I'm just going to focus here at the top and not worry about the bottom. So it just says, "We decided on forever." And I thought that was really pretty. And they actually had like a cute little, I modified this, and I can't remember if I got it on Etsy or I think I got it on Design Space, this design. And they had, again, they had something on top of "We decided." But the thing of it is, I, of course, had like a very narrow space to work with. So what I did is I ungrouped it and then added these. It was these 2 here were up here, and then they had like something in the middle. I don't know. I can't quite remember. But so I just ungrouped it and just added it to here, and I thought it was kind of cute. So that way, give it a little something else other than just the text here. So, and if I don't like it, I can just simply take it off. All right, and then of course these little leaves here has some middles that we got to work on. This is Cricut's brand. This is their Smart Vinyl, I believe. Yes, their Smart Vinyl. I'm not a huge fan of their Smart Vinyl sometimes because I feel like it's not easy to transfer and to work with, but I do like the convenience of not having to use a mat with it, so that's nice. All right, let's go ahead and apply some transfer tape and get this transferred onto this tile. All right, so I'm just unrolling my transfer tape, and this is kind of how I like to do it. And then I'm going to apply it to my transfer tape here. And then I'm going to use my rotary blade to cut off what I don't need. And it did not work. It looks like I need a new rotary blade. I know this is not what it's for, but this is what I've always used it for. And it works like a charm. All right. Looks like I have a little bit more than I need. So I'm going to cut off. I'm going to go ahead and burnish the front and the back. Now, typically I would suggest, if you're using Cricut Smart Vinyl, use their transfer tape. It works really well, actually. But I don't know why. I just happened to grab this, and we're going to see how it works. If not, I will just take this transfer off and use it for something else. And we'll add the Cricut brand. See, some of it's coming off. That's here. Interesting. Some of it's coming off and some of it's not. So we're going to have to, I wish it would either go all the way on or not, and then I would just put the right one on. Not the right one, but the Cricut brand. And I'm going to want to get this straight as possible. So I don't know if you guys can tell, but there's a portion of this tile here that is raised. And so I'm trying to stick the decal within this parameter here. Again, I don't know if that's showing up on the camera really well. So I don't have a whole lot of room here. So it's hard to see with the parchment paper, so I'm trying to feel for where the perimeter is before I... In fact, I think this is being... I don't think I can use the parchment paper. It's hard for me to see, and I don't think I'm going to be able to get it straight on there. So we're just going to have to hold it tight and apply. All right, so that is now stuck on there. I think we went slightly crooked, but I'm going to sit on it and see how well. It took a little longer than I would have liked, but I'm going to sit on it, see if I like it. If not, I can always fix it. Just recut out this part. There we go. I think it's too terrible. Let's go ahead and move on to our next craft. In this craft, we are going to do a reverse canvas. So I forget where I bought this from. More than likely, it's probably Michael's or Hobby Lobby. And let's see here. It's an 8x8 canvas. And I think what I'll do is I'll get this weeded first. I'm doing an iron-on project. I'm doing glitter. And this is one of the, it's a fall, I told you guys there was going to be a fall project, and this will be it. So don't forget when you're doing iron-on projects that you mirror it, so that way it will actually be read correctly. Now, of course, if it's just an image, it doesn't have any wording on there, assuming that assuming that you don't mind, you don't have to mirror it. But again, if you have text on there, you're going to have to make sure that you mirror it. And then, of course, you want to put shiny side down. And I am using glitter for this. And actually, I think I'm going to stop weeding this because I'm not using hot glue for my canvas. I'm going to use this Fabri-Tac, and I think that's going to take a second to adhere. So I think that's what I'll do. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to get out our true control knife here, and we're going to want to cut our canvas. Make sure you cut it on the outside of the staples. Now you can opt for taking the staples out, but I am not going to, just for the sake of time. And to be honest, no one is going to see. All right. I think we're almost there. All right. Might have some areas that I'm going to need to cut. Let me go ahead and get those areas. It looks like they wrote something down here, and obviously they didn't care that it was on there because they didn't think someone's going to do reverse weeding. So I think what I'm going to do is sand that down. And then it does have this on the side, but I think that given that it's just a little decor for my dining or for my craft room, I think it should be just fine. Okay. Let me go ahead and clean this off real quick. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring our canvas here. Now we're going to want to glue this down and then trim. And we're going to want the mat to, I'm going to turn on my heat press. I'm going to use my mini press here to the medium level. And then I'm just using my Beacon Fabri-Tac glue here. And I'm just going to glue around the edge here. I really like this glue. It works like hot glue, but it takes maybe a little bit, a few more seconds longer to adhere and to dry, but it works really well and it works fast too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just, it doesn't matter where, as long as it's on there somewhere. And I'm going to push down and I'm going to turn this around. And I'm just going to make sure that I kind of pull this tight across both directions. And the reason why I am putting my canvas on, then applying the decal, is I want to be able to have this decal centered in my frame here. Okay, so I'm going to push this aside. That's my heat press that's telling me it's all ready to heat or to press. So I'm going to let that set up real quickly while I finish weeding this out. So this has already set up, and so what I'm going to do, it's getting there, it's not completely, but I think what I can do now is trim this back. And then let's go ahead and apply our decal. me just go ahead and clean up my space here. So now I most certainly can cut this part off. In fact, I think I might, but I'm going to try not to lose the positioning of my design here. There we go. And just double check it and make sure. Yes, looks good. Ooh, burnt my finger. Now I'm just using my mini press to apply the heat. And just keep in mind that the mini easy press is meant to be moved around, and so you don't want to keep it stationary anywhere. And you want to apply your glitter for 30 seconds. And then I believe it's a cool peel. So I'm going to let this cool down, and I'm going to clean up my workspace a little bit here. All right, it's cool to touch. It's a good thing about this last minute it's not ready. I am going to get my heating mat. The reason why I got my heating mat is because when you don't use it, even on a surface like this, you are losing heat, and therefore it takes a while because this absorbs the heat, so it's pushing the heat back up into the design. So when you're applying on here, since it's so cool to touch, it loses that heat and then it doesn't adhere really well. And I think that's why I was having some issues in some areas. So we are going to, I use my heating mat to see if this is going to help, and it should help actually. And I think this should be good. There we go. Now, I think what I'll do is I'll add some ribbon at the top so I can hang this up, but you can see the glitter on there. And I think this turned out really cute for a reverse canvas. And again, I know that it has the side and whatnot, but I think that it just is all part of its charm, right? At least that's what we're gonna go for. All right, let's go ahead and move into our last craft of this video. In our last craft for this video, I had purchased this cute little stand, or it's not a stand actually, it's a little wall decor. It has it on both sides. It's from Hobby Lobby, and they clearance these out, so I can't even tell you how much I paid for them. I know that I got a good price. And so I actually have already done one of these before. I'm putting another one in my daughter's room. The other one said, "Twinkle, twinkle, little star, do you know how loved you are?" And that's above her closet door. So I thought this little design that I made myself would be really cute above her door. So that way when she gets old enough and she's able to read it, she will know that she is smart, beautiful, and loved. So unfortunately, this is, I think, about 36 inches long, and the vinyl that I wanted to, or the HTV rather, that I wanted to use is only comes in 19 inches. So I unfortunately had to break this up. I hate doing that because then I gotta align things. Oh well, not the end of the world. But so I had to break it up a little bit in order to be able to cut this whole thing out using this glitter. I just love this glitter vinyl. And I wanted to use HTV because with something as long as this project is, it's just going to be easier for me, I think, to use HTV than it is using regular vinyl. Just because with vinyl now, you know, you got to be able to try to hold it and make sure it doesn't touch the surface until you're ready to commit to that. And I just think HTV is a little bit easier. You get a little bit more grace with that. Let's go ahead and weed out the middles here. So I used the font Witchy for the script, and then the rest is Times New Roman. This was a little bit of a challenge because, you know, you're using two different fonts in one sentence. And if anyone knows Design Space, you're not able to do that unless you just create your own text box per font. You can't just simply highlight it and change it. You have to have a new text box. Then you have to be able to space them out equally. Then you have to align them. And aligning them is not easy because what you'll do if you want to align to the bottom, it will align here and then it will also align down here. And of course you don't want that. You want it to be aligned this direction. So that post is challenging itself. So I had to do some ingenuity in order to get this thing aligned. I think I did a pretty good job aligning it and being able to get it to be spaced out equally too. So this is the second part. And then this last part here is the beginning. So with this, you're going to want to use parchment paper to protect your wood and protect your paint. So you're going to need that. And just an idea for those who don't know, if you create some registration marks, meaning like, let's say I put a square here and a square here and I can line them up. You could do that. I actually was going to, but then I think I forgot. And so now I'm just kind of stuck with it and I'm okay with that. I'm not going to recut this out. I used my Cricut Joy for this. So usually with long projects such as this one, I like to use my Joy. I have 5 machines in total. I have 2 Joys because they sold the Joy for $100. So I thought that was a great deal. And so I got a second one for my office. And then also, not for my office, but for if I want to do like craft shows, then I would be able to craft on demand. And then I have an Explorer 3, I have an Explorer 2, I have a Cricut Maker. So 2 Joys, an Explorer, oh, 2 Explorers actually. Explorer 2, Explorer 3, and then a Cricut Maker. All right, so I think what I'm going to do is just kind of lay them out and then see where I need to center them. Let's see, I'll put it here, and I'll put this one here, just to get an idea. I apologize that I'm not in frame here, but this is a bit long. I think that's good. Okay, this part, oh, I can take off. Now that we have our, now I just need to make sure that it's straight and centered as best as possible. So I'm going to pull it up a little bit in my viewing area to try to get it straight as possible. And also, luckily it has a little bit of a stick to it, so I can have it stick on the wood here, and while I go ahead and try to measure this. So I'm going to get out my parchment paper and I'm going to go ahead and start ironing this on. Again, medium heat, and you want to constantly move your easy mini press. So I applied more heat to this, and I actually peeled it off while it was super warm, because sometimes it's just going to be easier to take this off and then put my parchment paper on top of it and apply additional heat. But I'm letting it cool down. Yeah, just these two Ys, they have been giving me a lot of issues. Okay, I think we'll just have to leave that as is. All right, let's go ahead and shift this direction and apply this one. So I think, as you can start to see, it's starting to come off really nicely. Watch, it probably won't down here, but I think turning it up to the third, the highest setting on the Easy Press, worked. Looks like I got some areas I need to. Again, sometimes it's just easier to use the parchment paper than trying to iron it on with this. And this is why I'm peeling this off very carefully. Because, darn it, I'm going to have to use my mini press for that little dot. But like I said, sometimes it's just easier to iron it on with the carrier sheet off. Sorry if I'm out of frame here. Okay, so again, we had some areas where it was lifting. So now that I got that off, I'm going to just put my parchment paper and then apply the heat like this. Because peeling it off, I feel like just helps the HTV come off with it. So sometimes I think it's just easier to have that, because it's so thick, the carrier sheet. Since it's smart vinyl, it has to be thicker because it replaces the vinyl. So sometimes it's just easier to get that carrier sheet off, and that way you can apply more heat. And yeah, there we go. I think everything is pretty well set. And I apologize that I don't have it in frame, but again, it says, you are smart, you are beautiful, you are loved. So that is going to go above my daughter's door, and I think that when she gets a little older, she will really appreciate it. Well, that's all I have for you in this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. We definitely came across some challenges with weeding and applying our vinyl to our transfer tape, and then of course the ironing on did not go as well as I would have liked, but we got through it and we worked it out. So thanks for watching this video. Again, I have another one that's coming out. It's all going to be about baby gifts and sibling gifts, I guess you can say, because you know, you don't want the little kids to feel left out because their sister or brother is getting all the attention. So I definitely wanted to make something for them as well, so they can feel loved and appreciated as well. So stay tuned for that video that will be coming up later this week. And until the next video, I hope that you guys have a great day, and I hope that you guys really enjoyed this. Be sure again to like and comment your favorite craft that was on my table today, and also make sure that you subscribe so you can stay tuned for upcoming videos.